So, okay, what is since you're the only one here, let me see. Did you want to role play like the buyer's agent, being a buyer's agent, and how that conversation would go?
Yeah, because that's I feel like I have buyers that have been like on and off buyers, like they've been kind of working with me for the past year or so, looking for like mostly investments, but changing the conversation for them. But then I have a new VA buyer that I still need to have a consultation with. He just finished getting approved that I feel like I need to feel more comfortable explaining it to him.
Okay, did you want to try being the agent and me being the buyer, or did you want me to be the agent and you be the buyer and let's role play that?
Why don't you be the agent?
Okay. So this would be a face-to-face conversation. I mean, we don't want to do this over the phone.
Right.
So
Um,
I,
so
yeah,
oh, do you want me to give you my situation?
yeah,
So I'll be a first time buyer. Um,
okay,
I, I'm approved to the BHDA.
okay.
So my income's not super high, and I don't have a whole lot saved. I have some saved. Um, but I really want to work with an agent because I have no idea how to go about, you know, timelines. I don't know inspectors. I don't know what kind of inspections I need. Um, so I would definitely, I'm looking for a buyer's agent to help me with those, but I just don't know if I have the funds to pay a buyer's agent.
And that is completely understandable. So here's how we are going to do it. Since the new rule, I mean, sellers are not, not all sellers are going to be covering my compensation. Here's how we're going to do it. I'm going to send you a list of homes and you pick the ones you want to see. I'm going to talk with all of the agents to see what their compensation is. And based on that, we can decide if somebody is not willing to pay the compensation, we don't have to go see the house. Would that be okay for you?
Yeah, I think that works. That sounds like a plan to me.
Okay, great. And this is what I've been telling the buyers. And here I'm talking off offline. I think
Yeah.
if whatever is signed on our buyer broker agreement, that's what we are going to get paid. So say we have 2% signed, we are going to get that, even if the seller is willing to give the whole 3%.
Okay.
So this is what I am telling my buyers is let's go ahead and do the 3% because it's not that you can even say we agreed on 2 and the seller's willing 3. We cannot give that 1% to them. So it goes back into the seller's pocket. So that doesn't make sense.
Right.
So let's go ahead and sign a compensation for the whole amount. And then case by case, if we need to do another buyer broker or tweak that, I'm happy to do that.
Okay, that's how I was thinking about approaching it. And that's usually how I do it. Like when I generally do a buyer's consultation, I always say, hey, it's 3%, but if it comes in a little bit below, you know, that's okay with me. And then we usually take it from there. So, okay, that makes me, I feel like, I don't know why. It's just, I think because it's a new, kind of a newer conversation. So just getting used to saying it. I think
Yeah, I
once people start like saying, hey, it's okay, and then I think I'll get over it.
yeah. Let's try it with you being on the other side.
Nikki,
Okay.
before you go, before you go start, I'm sorry to interrupt. It's just so you know that this is very important for me because I am from the other side. This what you girls are talking about. It's like, for example, when I, try to go the investor route, marketing plan, and they say no, and I say something like, hey, what happened if I go ahead and bring a buyer for you, a pre-approved buyer, we'll take care of the whole process, and you give us some percent. Is that what you girls are talking about, or something completely different?
Yeah, you know what? I don't think, Chris, you need to worry about, because we are talking about the buyer side.
Ah,
So,
okay, okay, okay,
yeah, we are talking about talking with the buyers because some rules have changed, but
okay,
that has nothing to do with, and we will go over a seller script. That way,
okay,
we'll
okay.
practice
No, no,
that as
just
well.
needed to double check that.
Yeah,
Okay, all
absolutely.
right.
But hey, this is, you can at least hear what's going on the buyer's side.
Okay, all righty, righty. Okay.
Okay, Sam,
Okay.
you are the agent and I am the buyer.
Okay. Hey,
Yes,
how's it going?
it's going good. How are you?
I'm good. Um, so you're ready to start looking for a home. I just wanted to meet with you real quick so we can discuss the compensation changes and what that looks like. So here's, I show them my buyer broker. I said, this is the buyer broker. Here it lays out all of my duties as your agent, as the brokerage, and then also discuss this compensation. On the brokerage or on the buyer broker, it says that we're looking for 3% compensation. Now, this can be paid by the buyer's agents or the sellers. What we're seeing right now is some sellers are no longer willing to pay the buyer's agent their fee. So I do need to talk about that up front. So if we do come across a house that you love and the seller is not willing to compensate, just know, we'll have to discuss you coming up with the compensation instead. Now, the right now is 3%. This is negotiable on a case by case basis. So don't, and then that's when I get tripped up.
Yeah. Yeah, Sam, what I would say is before, and I'm sure you would do that because right now we're just talking about compensation, but make
Mhm.
sure you talk about other things first,
Oh
how
yeah,
many
yeah, yeah.
bedrooms, yeah, get that hype up so they're all excited, and then say, hey, in the past, we were compensated the by the selling side if we don't want to say seller. But now the rules have changed and they don't have to, compensate us.
Mhm.
And then
Okay.
another thing would be, I know I was talking to Tanya and she said, she told them, she said, hey, if there's a home you really love and they're not compensating me, I cannot show it to you, but I'm happy if you want to talk to them directly.
Okay.
I think we'll have to I just had one conversation with my investor buyer and seller, and I was a little bit nervous because he is very frugal, and I was like, I didn't know how he was gonna take it because on the
Mhm.
buying side, I was paid every time whatever the they were paying, but on the selling side, I was doing it for him for reduced commission because I was doing so many. And he started right in COVID. So we were able to do a lot of deals with him. So,
Yeah.
with that being said, I was like a little bit nervous about how he is going to react, but he reacted like I was pleasantly surprised. So, I think it's more in our head than them.
I agree with that. And I even think with the sellers, um, I think it's in my head. I feel like around here, I've noticed sellers still are willing to pay because they want the deal to be done. Um, I, but I feel like maybe that'll change in a few weeks. The conversation might change a little bit. Um, I
So
don't feel as
here's
I don't.
my one experience I had. Well, you say, sorry, I'll let you say what you're saying, then I'll tell you about my experience with my seller.
For some reason, I don't feel as uncomfortable talking to a seller about it, which is weird. For some reason, I think maybe because it was always a conversation. The
But how
talking
would
to
you handle if they say we're not paying a buyer's agent? What would you
well,
do?
I would just explain them like so every agents are going to be looking for that the majority of this area are first time buyers and VA buyers, which typically can't, they need assistance with closing costs, getting into the home and things. They can't typically also pay for their agent. So it may lead to us sitting on the market longer. If you're okay with that, I just would like to let you know, we're not going to be off the market super fast, not having
No,
that incentive.
I know my home is going to sell. It is absolutely beautiful. Nothing in my neighborhood lasts more than 2 weeks. So I don't think I'm going to have a problem selling that.
Well,
So I'm not going to pay the buyer's agent.
Well, the other part about it is without having a buyer's agent in place, and if we have an unrepresented buyer, now that opens up, possible delays on closing because the buyer didn't get all their ducks in a row because they don't know how to do so. I won't be representing them, so I won't be able to give them all that help. It'll lead to more work and more headache on our side, having to deal with just a closing company and the buyer directly. Whereas if we have an agent, I know for sure that they will be able to go ahead and make sure this deal gets done on a timely manner, with everything in place that needs to be done. The communication will be there between me and the buyer's agent, and it'll be a much smoother and less stressful transaction for you.
I understand that. I'm okay if there are delays, and you, as my agent, can make sure the buyer is at least we know where they are at every time of the timeline.
Oh, sorry, repeat that. Sorry, I just heard.
I said you are my agent, so and the buyer has come in. You make sure that the buyer has all the ducks in a row.
So I will be representing you, and I can only do so much where they're being unrepresented. I can tell them of deadlines, but I cannot give them too much more information outside of that. They are not my client. You are my client. My due diligence is to help you, and get this deal done and do everything on our side to have it taken care of. As far as them, I can't assist them in any way. They will not be my client.
I know you're not going to assist them, but you can at least give them the deadlines, and that if they want to buy the house, they'll have to abide by that.
Absolutely. They'll know the deadlines. As far as me reminding them and keeping them on task, that won't be my job. I'm representing you. And at that point, then it starts to do a dual representation, which I've told you before, I don't do. So I would definitely recommend just giving even some sort of level of compensation to a buyer's agent.
Okay, I'm willing to do a little bit, but not the whole thing.
I think that's fine. Let's go on the market with at least a little something and see what happens. And if it sits in the market and you would like it to move faster, we can discuss changing that incentive and maybe seeing if that helps get us sold faster.
Okay, I'm willing to do that.
Okay,
Good
yay,
job.
we got a deal.
Yeah, that's exactly how my conversation went with the last seller I went to. He was adamant, and then he agreed to giving a little bit and then seeing how that goes.
Yeah, I think that's where I feel like I'll see. But I still think for the most part, I think where we, especially with a lot of VA sellers too, I'm feeling like, I think like on this case, I was saying to my client who was selling and buying, put that positive out, because you're going to be buying and you're going to be in the same boat. Wouldn't you want to kind of have like hey, I'm willing to do this to help this person out, and vice versa? Like, wouldn't you just want that good karma going into this? And then it kind of it's made it a lot better. The whole deal has been a lot better. It's trying to get them out of their greedy mindset because they're also greedy.
But I think at the end of the day, it also depends on what they are walking home with and what
Mhm.
and what they need, you know?
Oh, I think the
So,
seller net sheets are helpful too. And that's what
yeah,
I did for her when she really wanted to do less. And I said, we're not really, uh, on the buy side, I said, offering less isn't really common right now. Like, as far as she wanted to do like 2%. I said, I think we go a little under the 3, but I think going at 2% might make us sit there. Whereas trending in Hampton right now, we're seeing a lot of buyers who need a lot of assistance with closing costs and such. To also know that they may have to come up with the difference with their buyer's agent is, it's just an added negative. And I don't think this house is too beautiful to have a negative. So, she did, and once I did the net sheet and I showed her how little of a difference it really was on her bottom line between offering the buyer's agent 2%, 2.5%. And then at that point, that made it make sense for her.
I think you're right because, but I'm seeing a lot of tools right now. And like maybe 3, 4 years ago, when I would see the 2, I would be like bummed out. But you see the
Yeah.
2.5, you don't feel that bad. Somehow, just the numbers game in our head, you feel like, okay, I can deal with that. But
Yeah.
I'm seeing a lot of tools now.
Yeah,
Two
I haven't.
2.25. But hey, I just think, for me, I'm okay with the 2.5. For me, I want to go moving forward, because now I know I have one more person. Maybe they have friends and family.
Right. It's a
So
numbers game.
it's a numbers
But
game. So
I think also going into, like, I feel like this market's shifting a little bit. Like, obviously we're going into a slower season naturally, but I think sellers are starting to realize things are, at least over here in Hampton, things are not moving as fast as they did even a year ago. So for right now, the people, I have another consultation on Saturday. For the most part, everyone's like, I need this help. They still want that like instant style. So far the conversations have been very good. And the buyers, that's the only one that I don't know why. And maybe because I don't have a big buyer pool right now. That's that one conversation I'm still working on. Like I know how to say it. It's just like getting comfortable saying it as quickly as I am with sellers.
no, you did a great job. You really, you did a good job. You pointed out really well. And I think the first time home buyers, they are going to be okay if we tell them, hey, we're going to negotiate on your behalf to get that covered, but there might be a slight chance that we don't, and then we can skip that home or we can talk at that time.
Yeah, I think I'll be, because then if you let them skip it too, I think I think you put it on their like pocket to make that decision, and I think they feel better about it. Because I have seen like my clients have looked at houses and they're like, "Ugh, they're offering 0%," and I'm like, I know there's somebody over here that's doing that right now, and they're like, ugh, and it's overpriced. No one's buying that. Like they all say it, so I think it'll be okay. I think it's just going to be an adjustment for a little bit, and then we'll be
See,
fine.
there was a one home that my client sent me. It was 0%. I called the agent. Agent said, hey, the seller's adamant, but send me something and I'll be able to make it work. So somehow my client forgot about it and I didn't show it. He called me back in 3 days. He said, hey, listen, why don't you show it? I will be able to work something out. I said, okay, I'm waiting for my clients to tell me whether they want to see it. And a week later in the MLS, they were offering 2.5, from 0 to 2.5. So nobody
Yeah,
was showing that. So I think they're going to learn sooner rather than later.
yeah, I agree. And especially I think we're lucky we're in an area that I feel like we're still doing okay with that. But I think in other parts, like we talked about Northern Virginia and stuff, they just, I feel like the sellers there are more like kind of cutthroat against it. So I'm glad that this area seems to be a little more understanding, at least right now.
So Sam, you have all
I
the
had something else in
listings.
my
Why
mind.
don't you, are you doing open houses to get more buyers?
So I am on Sunday. I have two houses I'm holding open. The one that you went to the other day, and I'm doing back to back, and then I'm also hosting my other one open right before it.
Okay, that way you'll get more buyers.
Yeah, no, definitely need to. The one that I wanted to do open house because it was so pretty, she was very against open house. She didn't want a plethora of strangers coming through. I was so bummed. I'm like, man, this house would really get me some good people, but the other two I think should too. Um,
Oh,
that and
you'll
then I
get
signed up
people.
and I did Tanya's class yesterday and agent finder and sold.com for sellers. And then I've been getting a lot of Ojos lately.
That's great. Do you want to practice some for sale by owners? What is your who do you call regularly? And we can practice that.
Come on, you know I don't call.
No, I know.
But that's why I
We
want to start attending your classes. I need to start calling. I honestly I haven't called, but I will stop by a house or if they're so like on Facebook, there's one in my neighborhood. He didn't put his phone number. You could message him. So I immediately messaged him and it was like, hey, I see this house for sale. I live on the same street as you. It doesn't say what the price is. What do you have it priced at? He's way overpriced, like way overpriced. And then I said, would you consider, I was like, I don't know what your situation is, but would you consider paying a buyer's agent? And he was like, I'll do something. He's like, probably not full 3%. And I said, that's fine. And then lastly I asked, I said, it's been on the market. I've seen a couple of weeks. Would you consider doing seller financing? I have a couple investors that would be interested if you could do seller financing. And he was like, no, not right now. So that was about a month ago. And I was going to follow up with him because it's still obviously for sale. And it's a 3-bed, 2-bath, 1,500 square feet. He did redo it, but it's your basic gray stone countertop, like nothing insane. Little rancher, and he has it listed at 350.
So what do you
And
think
it's right next.
the right price would be?
I think 280. Like he's way off charts. He's right
Those
next to a
are tough.
7-Eleven. Yeah. So I don't think, and he hasn't budged on the price. But
What do you think his motivation is? Like, is he a flipper or what is his
no,
motivation?
I saw him post on our neighborhood page that he was thinking about selling it. It was a rental, and then he just renovated it, and then he wants to sell it now. So it's not. He doesn't seem like he's in a rush because it's been on the market now 2 months. He doesn't have it on Zillow. I've looked there. He doesn't have it listed anywhere. He just has it on Facebook Marketplace, and then he has a couple yard signs. That's how I've seen it.
I would definitely
So,
call him, even if it means listing it at a little bit higher price. Once you get the listing, then you might be able to bring him down and be more realistic.
so you would still do it even though you think it's like at that price, even if you think it's
Not right
overpriced?
at not at that higher price, but bring him down a little bit, you know, you show him the net sheet, show him comparables, tell him like for 2 weeks, let's try it at your price. Let me market it everywhere and see anyway, like I tell them is you don't have to pay me till I sell it. I'm willing to risk doing the pictures and everything. And then once you show them the data and really finding out the motivation, like what does he want to do with that money? And keep bringing him back. If he wants to buy something else, if he wants to move to closer to the family and he needs that money, you have to bring him back to that pain point.
Okay.
Why is he selling? I mean, they all tell us that they're in no rush, but the fact that they put on the market is they want to sell it.
Right.
I would
Okay.
definitely have a few conversations with him.
Okay, I'll definitely do that because it's just it's been interesting because most of them end up listing with somebody pretty quick in this area. Or if they try for sale by owner, with they try it for like a week or two. And then my neighbor, I don't have any information. I don't even know the address. My neighbor reached out to me and was asking if I wanted to buy any furniture that her friend was selling. And I was like, no, I'm okay. I don't have anything right now. And I was like, where's where's the house? And she said, oh, it's in Salt Ponds. It's a really nice house. We just finished painting it. And I was like, oh, we're in Salt Ponds. And she was like, oh, it faces Buckrow Beach. It's behind the gated community. I'm like, is it one of the $1 million ones? And she's like, yeah, she has it listed for 1.3. But she's selling it herself. And she's had 3 offers, but none of them worked out. And I was like, has she talked to an agent? And she said, no, I don't know if she's interested. I asked her for the information and she said, I'll get it to you. Cause I don't know the address. And I looked on Zillow again. She doesn't have it listed there. She just has a sign somewhere, but it's behind the gate. So I haven't seen it.
Why don't you
Um,
say you are looking for furniture and go inside? She called you for furniture, right? Tell her, yes, I want to get furniture.
well, she'll meet me there. The friend doesn't live there.
Oh,
Yeah. Cause I thought about that. I was like, maybe I'll lie and just go.
mhm.
Then she's like, well, she already moved. I'm like, oh, okay. Well, that defeats it. But I just texted her again the other day and was like, hey, did you talk to your friend? I would love to meet her. Just hear me out and
You
see
know
if I can
what?
help her
I'll tell you, I have
market.
an idea. Why don't you tell her you might have an out of town buyer and you're going to do a video showing?
Okay.
You know,
Is that
go
not
get
misleading?
hey, it is, but you're just getting you might have a buyer. Once you look at it, it might, hey, maybe that'll be good for that one.
Yeah. I just didn't know if I felt like that was maybe not the right thing to do because I'm like, I feel kind of bad if I'm not telling the whole truth. But
No,
yeah.
this is what I'm the reason I do this is sometimes when you put your eyes on it, it's like, okay, it could be good. Or even, you know what? If you feel that, just say, hey, I work with a lot of out of town buyers. I want to put my eyes on it to see if it's a match for somebody. That way you're not.
Okay. Yeah, that
That's
makes
what
sense.
I do. When I call for the preview, I tell them, I don't have a specific buyer, but let me put my eyes on it because I have buyers all the time, which is the truth.
Yeah. And they're usually okay with it.
Sometimes they're okay with me coming and previewing. I mean, I'd say 90% of the time they're okay.
Okay. I know that was my goal. Not this today wasn't going to work out for me, but next month I do want to start getting into the habit of coming to your class and start doing these calls more. Need to get
Okay,
over my
then
fear.
let's do a call. You know what? Maybe you
Oh,
can get a ISA for you down the line,
yeah.
and you can see how Chris talks to them. He will basically vet them for me, and then he will transfer the call to me, or he will once they're ready to talk to me. So you can see how he
Okay.
does it.
Okay. Yeah, that'd be cool. Because that is something I would like to get maybe sometime next year.
Yep, yep. And the key is definitely training them. That's why I ask him to come on the call. That way he can hear all aspects of it.
Okay. Yeah, I
Okay,
like that.
Chris, you wanna be the
The
ISA
ISA?
and yes,
Yes.
yes,
Okay.
that's what you do best.
Are we going fishbowl
Yeah, let's
or
do one FISBO, one expired.
okay? Okay. I mean, essentially, I basically ask the same questions, but I can take this, so you can provide me some feedbacks as well, with the with expired ones and all of that. So let's do it. Not a problem.
Okay.
Okay. Ring ring.
Hello.
Hello. Hi. My name is Chris. I'm sorry, ma'am. Perhaps you could help me. I'm calling in regards of the property 123 on the main street.
Yes, that's my home. How can I
Oh,
help you?
yes, ma'am. Basically, I am just double checking. Are you currently selling this property by your own, or are you already working with a realtor?
No, I'm selling it for sale by owner.
Oh, that's perfect. The reason why I'm asking you these questions is because I do work for Coastal Town. We are a company for licensed realtors, but I am calling on behalf of the investors right now. We're looking to buy some properties in the area. We take a look at yours, and I'm wondering if you're taking offers.
We're taking offers, but I'm not interested in an investor offer because they offer too low, and my home is very beautiful.
No, and I agree with you. I'm taking a look at some pictures at this moment, and I definitely agree with you. That's why we're very interested. But hey, take into consideration that going the investor route is not the only route that we have. We have some very good marketing plans. We can bring a pre-approved buyer for you. We take care of the whole process. At the end of the day, seeing the way that we're looking for get a win-win situation, would you be open to have a conversation with my boss, just 3 to 5 minutes, to see if there's something that we can do? We can work mutual, perhaps.
If your boss has a buyer, definitely, but otherwise, you know what, I'm very busy and I don't have time.
And I respect that. Absolutely. I respect that. And how about the following? Allow me please to do the transfer, with my boss. I don't want to, be disrespectful to your intelligence and tell you that she has a buyer on the phone right now, of course, but I'm pretty sure that we might have an option for you because more than going the investor route, we have a lot of routes. As I mentioned to you, we have a very good marketing plan that most of our clients are going through. So just listen to her. I promise it will be 3 to 5 minutes. And if anything happens, I promise you we won't be calling you anymore. So no worries for that.
Okay. Okay, that's fine.
Okay. And boom, I do a transfer to my boss, Nikki.
Ooh,
Okay.
that's awesome. I need one of him.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yes.
you know what? I personally think when I was before I got him, I was coaching with Bill, and I would keep
Hmm.
telling him I want ISA, ISA. He's like, unless you haven't made the calls for a year or two, you will not be able to. So that's why I'm telling you, it's awesome to have him and do the calls, but it's important only if you know how they're going to answer you, how they're going to be, will you be able to complement each other.
Exactly.
So I would really wish each one of us can get a Chris,
Yeah.
but
I
Me too.
I
know.
think we have to work towards it.
Yeah, something very important to mention, if you allow me, is that because I have worked, as an ISA before, but I have
Hmm.
never have such a good relation like the one that I have with Nikki and with the boss. I am like all the time like calling her, right, Nikki? Like, hey, can I ask you something? What do you think about this and this and this and this? And it's good because I've been doing my job at the same time that she's been teaching me, like, ask this, go this. I even have a script, that was done by Nikki and all of that. So it's been amazing, honestly. I have been learning a lot on this process.
So it's really important. Like I still make the calls. I still make the calls, but I think that's why I was telling you, make calls. It's not as because Sam, you're really good. Like we were talking right now, what you said with the sellers. It's just sometimes we think too much, or they're gonna. But most of the time, 4 or 5 calls a day, you will see a big difference to your business.
True.
Yeah, I need to. I know I already said, but I'm definitely gonna start getting back into the daily calls because listings are gonna be how I think we can make money for a little bit, and
Yeah.
I'm kind of realizing that, and gotta make the fall, the calls to get more listings. So
Do you know how to go on Zillow to? I know there's a big thing going on with do not call, so we want to be really careful about that. Um,
I don't well, if they're on Zillow, like a FISBO is on Zillow, isn't that, can't you call them because they're offering their information up?
yes, yes. So we can call
Okay.
them. So do you know how to access them?
The FISBOs or the do not
Ye-
call list?
No, the Fizbos.
Yeah, I know how to find them on Zillow. Because I still look, I do reach out to them like periodically, and I look at them every time I have a client because sometimes if they're offering compensation, I'll still call. Um, but I haven't really like pursued them because I feel like as soon as I call, they're like, "We're not interested in listing," and I'm like, "Well, that's not. I have a buyer in the area, and I'm just." Or I'll call to see if any of them will do um, owner financing because my investors would like to do some of to do that, but I haven't done calls as far as like, hey, let me go do a preview and try to get the listing.
Okay, let me be the agent, and then you be the agent, and we will ask for the preview or the listing. We're not calling for a potential buyer. We're calling because we want to get our foot in the door. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
So, do you want to be the agent? Do you want me to be the agent? Pretty much
Um,
how went, but here we are directly making the call.
Okay, why don't you be the agent and I'll be the homeowner? Or actually, no, I'll be the agent. I'll be the agent. Okay, I think I got it.
You got it.
Okay. So ring ring.
Hello.
Hi, this is Samantha Thomas. I'm calling from Coastal Town Realty. How you doing today?
I'm doing good.
Hey, awesome. I haven't come across your listing that you have on Zillow at such and such driveway or street in Hampton. I was looking at it and I was just wondering if there we are.
Okay.
Um,
Can
hold
I
on.
cut you and can I
Yeah.
tell you the start? Okay. Number
Yeah.
one, I never tell who I am before I ask if the home is available. So
Oh, okay.
if the minute you say, hi, I'm Samantha Thomas with Coastal Town, they're already shut off. They're like, oh my God, another realtor. I do
Okay.
disclose, so this is how I would go. Ring, ring.
Hi, this is Samantha.
No, I'm the agent.
Sorry.
Oh, okay.
Hello. Okay, yeah. Hello.
Yeah, hi. I was calling about the home on 123 Main Street. Is that still available for sale?
It is, yes.
Okay, great. My name is Nikita and I'm with Coastal Town Realty and I work with a lot of buyers in the area. Are you accepting offers at this time?
Yes, we are.
Okay. Do you have any offers?
We do not know.
Okay, great. Well, if I bring you a buyer, are you willing to compensate me?
We could definitely work something out.
Okay, great. Hey, I help a lot of for sale by owners like yourself, and all I need is like 15 minutes of your time. I'll be in your area tomorrow around 10 a.m. or this evening around 4, if that's okay with me or you, for me to take a quick preview.
Sure, that'll work.
Okay, great. So can I have your email address?
Sure, it's soldbysamantha@gmail.com.
Okay, great. I'm going to send you some information about myself and my team. I will be, you said today 4 was good?
Yeah, today at 4 o'clock will be fine.
Okay, great. I'll be there today. We're a husband-wife team, so both of us will be there. And you can, go through my email so you know who exactly is coming over. And while I'm there, I'll also talk to you a little bit about our Seller Advantage program. So, yep, I will see you this evening at 4.
Okay, great. Thank you.
See, that's it. Done.
I wasn't pushing back too much, but I just wanted to hear what you say.
Yeah. You know what? If you did push back, I would say if you the minute you're allowing to compensate me and you allow me for a preview, I will be there. You didn't ask me anything else, so I didn't say, but sometimes they will be like, hey, only if you have a buyer, bring your buyer and come. And then I would go into, I work with a lot of out of town buyers, so it might be a good fit. And then I will slip in the marketing plan that we have, and we can discuss at that time. And sometimes they'll tell me my mother's a realtor, my brother. Then I will kind of decide if I want to go meet them because I
Mhm.
don't want to also waste my time.
Right. And that's what I feel like when I used to go and do previews, because I did work with Bill for a little bit, and when I would go and do previews, I felt like a lot of times that's what would happen. I would get there and they're like, well, I'm gonna just see how it is for a few weeks and then I'm listening with my brother or something. But they wouldn't say it until I got to the preview. And I kind of got discouraged after that because I'm like, well, I went all the way across the water, you know? And so then that's when I was kind of like done making calls because I felt like the preview part wasn't as effective for me.
Number one, there are a lot of agents out there, and even some of them I role play with that are in
Mhm.
different areas. They don't do previews, they go directly for the listing kill. They will go for the listing.
Mhm.
To me, if you're calling them the first or second day, it's very unlikely that they are ready to list.
Right.
So I think it's really, and I've seen if I don't call them the first or second day and don't make a rapport, then by the time I call them, they've already spoken to somebody. So it's really finding what works best for you. For me, I've seen I go for the preview, and over there, I'll talk a little bit about the marketing plan we have. And also, very important question, if you want to write that down, is, and again, it's, I learned from Bill, it is, if you're not, if it doesn't sell in the timeline that you want it, you are thinking about, are you planning to rent?
Oh,
That's a
okay.
very good question, because then they will tell you, you know what, my brother is a realtor, or I'm going to interview. Sometimes I've had people say, hey, then I'm going to interview agents. So, you want to go there and be the agent that they will call upon when they're ready to talk. But in the meanwhile, you have to call them every 2 or 3 days to keep in touch with them, or they'll forget. Because say they wait 2 weeks and
Hmm.
you go the first or second day and you don't have any touch with them, even though they loved you and you said everything right, they at that minute they felt, oh my God, she was awesome, I would love to list with her. But if you don't follow up with them at that two
They'll
week
forget.
mark, at that 2 week mark, if an agent goes and they're as good as you, or maybe not even as good, but at that time when they're ready, they probably will sign up something. But
Okay.
if you've been in touch with them, then you already know, like, hey, they'll talk. You will hear
Okay.
about their frustration, and you want to really find out the pain point. Why are they selling? What is their motivation?
No, that makes sense.
And the whole compensation thing, if they really want to sell quickly, they will be willing to compensate, because I think they know the market. Sometimes these sellers and buyers, they are so well aware of what's going on,
Hmm.
but the thing is, they bring their emotions and everything. For them, we're just like the guide. We just need to take them from point one to point two.
Right.
Just sometimes it can be a little zigzag, but we will get them there. But if they're doing it by themselves, they have, that's not their main thing to do. It's not that maybe they can do it, but it has emotions involved and all of those things. But if we are there, we kind of, this is your next step. This is what we need to do. So we're basically their guide.
Right.
Because right now, they, through Zillow and everything, they can get all the information we are getting.
Hmm.
So how else do we prove that they need us with our
Yeah.
expertise, with our negotiating skills, with our knowledge?
Okay. Well,
So come on, Sam, you go
I'm
for
coming.
one.
What was that?
Go for, I'm going to be the seller and you're the agent. We have 10 minutes.
Okay. Sounds good. Ring ring.
Hello?
Hi. I'm calling about 123 A Street in Hampton. I just want to know, is that property still available?
Yes, it is. Are you a buyer?
No, actually, an agent. I'm working with some buyers in the area, and I wanted to see if you were accepting any offers or had any offers at this time.
Oh, yes, I'm definitely accepting offers. And I don't have any at the time. I might be receiving one, but I don't have anything in hand.
Okay, great. And are you willing to pay a buyer's agent compensation?
Yes, I'm willing to, with the right offer.
Okay, that sounds great. So my client is actually out of town. I wanted to know if I could swing by maybe tonight or tomorrow morning to do a virtual showing for them.
Mm, yeah, sure. Tomorrow morning would be better.
Okay, awesome. And when I come by, I'm gonna drop off some my marketing material to kind of, or not marketing material, our marketing plan just so you can see what I offer as well, to help you maybe sell the house a little quicker.
Oh, that would be great. I would love that.
All right, awesome. So you said 10 a.m. tomorrow works for you?
Yes.
Awesome. My name is Samantha Thomas, and I'm with Coastal Town Realty, and I'll see you tomorrow at 10 a.m.
See you then.
All right, thanks. Have a good night. Bye.
Bye. Okay, just
was-
one thing is
Nikki?
don't yeah.
Truly apologize to interrupt you. I need to go because I have a scheduled callback with a client, actually an expired one. So I'm gonna try to see if I can take him. Okay. So I'll see you around. Bye bye.
Yeah. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Sam, I used to do that. Don't tell them you have a buyer because then it's hard for them to shift their mind. They think you have a buyer and you're going to bring a buyer.
Okay.
So just say you work with several buyers and you want a preview to see if it is a fit for any of your buyers. Because
Okay.
I've done that before. When you say you have a buyer, they will be super excited, but then it's hard for them to shift to think, okay, now she doesn't have a buyer.
Okay. No, that makes sense. I think that's where I used to mess up because I think before my scripts would say I have a buyer. So maybe that's why I feel like I didn't have as much success before.
Yeah. I mean, just say you work with several buyers, you work with a lot of military buyers coming into the area, so when you talk to them, you'll know about all the homes in the market, not just the ones on the MLS. So, and then you can, once you say that, you can always say, hey, they wanted a pool or they wanted something, it's not working out, but this is how I can help you really market your home.
Okay.
I mean, that has given me success more than telling them. But I would really want to know, make a couple of calls and tell me how it went. Go to the preview, tell me how it went.
Okay.
And especially now, have you like sold any FISBO where you brought a buyer?
No, I haven't.
Okay. Because
Yeah.
if you do one or two, then you'll have a story to tell.
Oh, okay.
Say,
Yeah. No,
say,
I called them. What was that?
No, I said, just suppose you do get a buyer for 123 Main Street, or you do list it. Then you can, when you go to the next friend and say, hey, the home, they were for sale by owner, but once they met me and I was able to help them, I helped them net more. So once you have a story, then you have stories to tell.
Okay. Yeah. Maybe that's where the lack of confidence comes into. But yeah, otherwise, I mean, I'm comfortable calling for sale by owners. I'm just not comfortable with getting the listing conversation going.
No,
It's been a
you'll be
while.
fine. You'll be fine. Do one or two and you'll be much better. Once you go for a few,
Mhm.
you will be better. Even if you go and you feel, oh my God, I should have said this. But the next time you go, it'll be a learning.
Right. Okay.
And
I
feel
will.
free to call me or text me if you come across an objection that you couldn't handle, or we can even brainstorm together, or
Okay.
something that even worked for you. Say, hey, Nikki, I did this and it worked well. So that way we can, bounce off ideas and help each other.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds like a plan. I'll do that.
So
I promise
what
to make a couple of calls before the September class.
I would really like that. So what did you learn from the class? What did you like? What do you think you could use?
Well, definitely just the conversation with how you explain it to your buyers. That and then changing up the script to FISBOs with, I have multiple buyers, out-of-state buyers. Because I think before I was just going in it with like, no, I have a buyer and then trying to get the preview that way. I think that's helpful. And then where you were saying how you guys focus on the pain points when you're in front of them or talking to them about the house. I think that's helpful. Because I think I don't really, most of the sellers I have, they don't really have, they have pain points, but they working with me because I got referred or it's somebody, I know. So it hasn't been like, not to say hard, but they've come a lot easier without too many objections,
Yeah,
Um,
definitely. A referral that 90%, 95%, we know we're going to work with it.
mhm. So I just haven't been challenged. Because I don't try to put myself out there. So I just need to call and start making the calls again.
Yeah, and if
And
you
then,
want to role play, we can role play once a week, Just text me, hey Nikki, you want to role play for 15 minutes? That's all we do. We don't talk about anything else. You're the seller, I'm the agent, I'm the seller, you're the agent, and boom, we get into making calls.
okay, yeah, that sounds like a plan.
And maybe one day on Tuesday, we could even make calls right here at the office. And then, I'm happy to do that. If you want to, hang out for an hour here making calls, we can do that.
Okay, yeah, I would like to do that because then it'll keep me accountable too.
All right, let's do that. Sonia leaves next week, and then I think I'll get into more of a schedule, better schedules. I also want to get back into, so I'm happy to do that because it's good,
Okay,
when other person is also making calls and
yeah, it's more comfortable, I think, to do it with a group than to do it by yourself. Because I think you get to, because then if you get like a negative response and you're like, ah, so. But if you have like somebody, or you get a tough objection, you're right there to say, hey, they just said this. What should I do next time?
Yep. Thank you, Sam, for coming to the class.
Thank
We have
you.
2 more minutes, but I think we did good, and I appreciate you coming. And yep, we will we'll role play some more of the buyer seller things when we meet on Tuesday.
Okay, awesome. Bye, Nikki.
Thank-
Thanks for hosting class.
Yeah, bye.
Hey, bye.